I've done many YouTube videos where I say SDR is not the path to sales
Mm-hmm.
engineer, or not the optimal path. Like
Mm-hmm.
it could work,
Good.
which
Right.
obviously you're proof of that. But like, how easy? It sounds like you were kind of in a interesting role where
Yeah.
you came in, you know the manager, there was opportunity. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yeah. I to hit on your first point, I completely 1,000% agree. Like, is it possible? Yes. Is it an ideal scenario? Is it easy? No, not at all. And is it realistic? Tough to say because again, I did do it, but again, I did it in a time back in 2017, 2018 where things were moving a lot different from how you can kind of progress through a company and kind of, you're sitting there right with the manager, you can kind of build that relationship. Things are just different. Um,
Yeah.
as far as with and I guess what was the second part of that question? Sorry. The
Well, no, I just wanted to hear your experience about like how you built that relationship. Because as I understand it, they created a role for you, as
hmm
it seems like the role did not exist.
right.
How did you manage to do, like,
Yeah.
basically you're saying you have to create a role. How did you manage to do that?
Yeah. So again, at that time, I was able to just kind of lay it out flatly to the sales department. Like, look, I have an engineering background. I'm interested in becoming more of the technical solutions expert, basically. And so, again, that just came to figuring out who's who. So again, at that time, we were all in the office. I would sit there with the SE team right over there, so I could listen to demos. I could see the lead SE, senior SEs, the SE manager, and so I literally came to him one day and said, "Hey, I want to be an SE. Can we kind of figure out some sort of like training path that I can take? Like, are there any resources I can study? Can I like shadow SEs? Like, what does that time period look like?" And again, I remember even my sales director during the interview process, he said, "Well, you might have to dedicate at least 2 years in this role before you can transition to an SE role." And honestly, at that time, I didn't want to hear that. I was like, 2 years? I said, no, there's no way, no way. And so, literally, after my year and a half at that company, that's when I was finally able to start taking on some of those calls on my own, like doing like demos and working with POCs and everything. So it kind of took about a year and a half to finally get to that point. But again, it was just building that relationship, just staying on it, and kind of just emphasizing like, look, this is the role I want to do, and building that relationship with the SE manager, basically. So yeah.
So basically, you had a year and a half that you had to spend as an SDR, or 2 years that you had to
Yeah.
spend as an SDR. So when you're
Yeah.
a sales engineer, 2 years fly by quickly.
Yeah.
If you're an SDR, how quick did it fly by?
Um, for me personally, that was a slow, that was a
Yeah.
slow time for me. And the thing is, like, I did so my first 3 months, my first quarter at SCR was horrible. It was horrible because again, I have a more technical background, so I was always focused on the how versus like the building relationships, the asking discovery questions, and really qualifying customers. Like, because as SDR, that doesn't really matter as an SDR. Like, how does the product work and everything. So I really had to
Yeah.
shift my mindset to kind of take it a step back, which helped me in my day to day as an SE now. Like, I know how to ask those discovery questions, really pause and listen to what the customer is saying versus just focusing on the technical side. But yeah, it was a slow burn, man, because again, I had to really focus on becoming a great SDR and not a great SE in order to get to the SC role. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's something I always teach. Like, if you want to get to somewhere, if you want to get to position B and you're in position A, make sure you kill position A.
Right,
Otherwise, you'll
right.
never get the chance to go to position B. Like, what gives you
Exactly.
the? You didn't earn the right to go there.